Oh, Bobba.
G'day cheeky dogs, I am so excited today to go through my favourite minisode blocks because the animators went through so much effort to load this minisode with hidden details about Bobba, iconic Australian songs and references, and many hidden details. And of course, we need to talk about the fact that Bluey's voice sounds completely different and like an entirely new voice actor.
Did you leave our blocks up? Huh? That doesn't make any sense.
So let's do a deep dive into it then and go through all the fun Easter eggs that you might have missed if you blinked in this episode.
Oh no.
Now, I want to start off with Bobba, because we learnt quite a lot about him in this minisode. Now, this does confirm that it takes place after the sign, because Bob is of course back from India.
What were you doing in India for so long, Bobba?
Well, girls.
He was off trying to find himself.
We know this because we can see up on the fridge in the kitchen some photos of him being held up by an Indian elephant magnet that looks very similar to the one he obviously sent to Bluey in season 3. And the first photo that we see here is Bob at a meditation retreat. And then the second one is of him participating in the famous Indian colour festival called Holi. I loved seeing his adventures in finding himself over here in India, and I hope that one day maybe we might even get some flashback episodes about it.
Find yourself? That's silly. Why do you need to find yourself? Yeah, you're right here.
What? Ah.
The next little Australian detail is that when Bob is vacuuming, he is humming a song about Duncan, and then asks quite clearly who is Duncan.
Duncan, he's great. Who is Duncan?
Now, this is actually a reference to an iconic Australian musician called Slim Dusty and his 1980s song, Duncan.
I love to have a beer with Duncan. I love to have a beer with Duncan.
In this song, he sings, "I love to have a beer with Duncan, because Duncan's me mate." Whilst this is a very popular drinking song from Bob's generation, it is still common enough that most Aussies would know at least this part of the drinking song as well.
I love to have a beer with Duncan, because Duncan's me mate.
Now, Bobba isn't the only Healer family member that we learn a little bit more about. We do also get a cameo from Rad and Frisky with a picture of them in Bali from Christmas Swim on the fridge, but also of them snorkeling, most likely in Bali as well.
Oh, I wish you guys could be here.
Yeah, me too, Mum.
Ah, look what I got for Christmas, Uncle Rad.
Wow, look at that.
The other Healers is Muffin and Socks, who have given Nana a picture of them at Chunky Chimpland. Again, perhaps we might see an actual episode at Chunky Chimpland somewhere in the future. The fridge and the kitchen in general is loaded with loads of Easter eggs, and the other ones on the fridge include a magnet of the Sydney Opera House, as well as a postcard or photo from another iconic big location called the Big Shrimp from New South Wales. This is just like the Big Peanut that we saw in the episode Road Trip. Aussies really love their big iconic statues, and the Big Shrimp is another one.
They're going to the Big Peanut. The what? The Big Peanut. Why aren't we going to the Big Peanut?
Above the fridge as well, we also see some cookbooks, including Nana's recipes, which is a bit of a lull moment because of us finding out that she is not a great cook in letter.
I'm back.
You staying for dinner, Bandy? I'm making my lasagna.
Oh, great.
But also we see a Jamie Olive 5-ingredient cookbook, which is a reference, of course, to the famous British chef Jamie Oliver's 5-ingredient cookbook. Jamie Oliver is very popular in Australia. He's kind of on the same level as Gordon Ramsay for us. So it was very cool to see a doggy version of him in Bluey as well.
You want sugar, Bob?
2 sugars, yes please.
The tins on the kitchen counter are also another little Australian hidden detail. One of them, of course, has a bone on it, I'm assuming for doggy biscuits, and the other is a reference to Rosella tins. Rosella is an Australian company famous for their fruits and jams and these vintage biscuit and tea tins.
Oh, but I want to watch the footy.
The TV room is also jam-packed with goodies. We see our first ever reference to AFL, aka Australian Football League, being played, and the teams are the Brisbane Lions in a maroon and blue coloured jersey versus the West Coast Eagles that are in a blue and yellow jersey. Bubba, we know, is a bit of a fan of footy, again thanks to the episode Letter, and AFL is a big sport down south, not so much though in the north in Queensland. So either Bubba is super into all different types of footy, or perhaps he could originally be from down south, just like Chucky's mum.
Mum's on the blue team, because she was born a long way from here.
In case you're wondering as well, all other previous versions on the show have always been versions of rugby, like what we saw in Fruit Bat and in The Decider, not AFL. We also have no official word yet on who the voice was for the commentator in this, but we do hear them saying inside out slider, which is an official AFL term. This is the same case as well with the weather lady. We don't know who she is voiced by. It's assumed that they are popular Australian celebrities, as we did get Charlie Pickering as the voice of the music sales assistant and drums, but it did actually take ABC Kids a while to let us know. So when I find out which celebrities were in this episode blocks, I will also let you cheeky dogs know.
Pass me a red one, Bobba.
Oh, but I need the red ones.
Oh, you've got plenty.
Under the TV, though, is one of my favorite Easter eggs that I'm sure most people missed, and that is one of Nana and perhaps Bob's favorite movies, and that is the 1939 VHS tape of Gone with the Wind. This was confirmed as well by one of the background animators, and I absolutely love these little hidden details that I can share with you all. The day-by-day animation also is filled with some fun little things, like seeing a picture of Bandit getting his archaeology degree with a mullet. This is also definitely his undergraduate degree, as we have different hats for a PhD, and we do know that Bandit has a PhD, as he is called Dr. Bandit Healer in the archaeology short.
And now, please welcome Dr. Bandit Healer, fresh from the field to discuss his latest archaeological discovery.
There's also a reference to an Australian magazine called 4x4, so it seems like either Bubba or Nana are into trucks. And we also see a picture of the Gold Coast on the wall, which is of course where Nana and Bob's apartment is. And we also see the famous balloon lady figurine, which we have seen multiple times already at Nana's, but also at Doreen's garage sale.
I found. It's the balloon lady. That's insane. That's from Australia.
Thanks, Nana. We'll see you next Sunday.
Oh, yes, sounds good. Bye, girls.
I love that the girls visit each Sunday and that this minisode and letter seems to show that it's a bit of a pattern. However, we do need to talk about Bluey's voice.
Did you leave our blocks up?
Now, Bluey's voice sounds noticeably different in this. Multiple people on Reddit noticed it, and even children have as well. But is it a new voice actor? The original voice actor for Bluey was 6 years old when they started recording back in 2017, which means that by now she would be at least 13 years old. The "Did you keep your blocks up" line was the most noticeable out of all of the minisodes, as it is really the only new line that they couldn't reuse from old dialogue.
Did you leave our blocks up?
Joe Brum has stated in the past that they've been using effects to try and get Bluey's voice to sound the same, and they've done that by speeding it up, but it seems that most people are able to notice a big difference now. And honestly, this doesn't even sound like an older version of Bluey, especially not even in comparison to older dialogue or even season 3 dialogue.
Well, I'm going to write a story where he looked at the chest straight away and eats all the treats. Did you leave our blocks up? Don't worry, we can start again.
It honestly, I think, sounds entirely like a different actress, so perhaps in the new season 4 episodes that are supposed to be coming out in 2026, we may have an entirely new voice for Bluey that sounds like this.
Oh, dear.
But cheeky dogs, let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this voice change. Overall, I loved this minisode. It gets 5 out of 5 long dogs for me and is my #1 rank for this batch of minisodes. I loved getting to see more of Nana and Bob's apartment, as well as the insane level of details that the animators put into this. And I just love the sort of feelings we get between Nana and Bob. It was just so beautiful to see.
Well done, Bob.
Yeah, well done, Nana.
Bobba and I are good at building block towers.
I also really loved the joke about Bobba's eyesight being bad and him thinking that the weather was going to be sunny when in fact it actually rained.
Oh, hang on. Yep, it's definitely a sunny face.
So, cheeky dogs, let me know where you would rank this minisode and how many long dogs you would give it out of 5. Also, don't forget to smash all of those buttons down below so that the YouTube algorithm knows that you love Bluey as much as the rest of us do here. And until my next video, I have picked you cheeky dogs out a few other videos that maybe you would like to watch, and I will see you all in another video. Bye!